afternoon. Apart from a few little bits of snippets that I've taken this morning, I've not actually really talked to the camera at all today. And it's literally almost time for me to go and pick the boys up. It's been a busy morning. I have dyed self-striping this morning and I've been tackling some of the Advent skeining. I'm probably about, I don't know, 2/3, 3/4, something like that, of the way through dyeing all the Advents. And I'm trying to get them skeined and packaged as I go along. My alarm popping up, there we go, to remind me I've got to go get the kids. I've been trying to get them dyed, no, not dyed. I've been trying to get them skeined up and labelled as I've been going along, because that's a massive, massive job. But yeah, so I've been skeining clubs, skeining Advent, skeining stuff this afternoon, all things that I can't share with you because, well, they'd have to be black and white, because everything I'm working on at the moment is a mystery. But oh well. Yeah, so I need to get the kids. I've got a little bit more dyeing to do when they get back. I just need to do some of the minis for the clubs, the contrasty heels and toes minis, if that makes sense. But I've got a couple of new projects that I want to share with you. I've got yarn picked out for a couple of new projects, including the Mystery Gnome, which the first clue has come out today. And also I need to share yarn for a new jumper project that I've dyed up and I'm going to be casting on. So I will do that a little bit, but I better go and get the boys before my next door neighbour, who I'm walking with, knocks on the door and sees me talking to my camera like a strange person. Right, chaotic few hours. Kids are home watching TV. I have finished up working for now anyway. But one of the projects, oh, that sun is bright. We really need to sort out some curtains or some blinds for the dining room, because the sun comes right in at this time of day and it is beautiful weather outside. What was I trying to tell you? Projects. I was talking about projects that were about to be cast on and projects that I had picked yarn out for. One of the projects I wanted to talk about was, of course, Mystery Gnomes, because Sarah of Imagined Landscapes has launched another mystery knit-along for one of her gnomes. And if you're a regular viewer of my vlogs or podcast, you'll know that I absolutely love the Mystery Gnomes. Can't see a thing. The new clue, the first clue for the new gnome, Norwen, came out today. I'll show you the yarn I've picked out in a moment. But I thought I would show you the other gnomes, because I've knit every single one of the mystery gnomes, I think. Yes, because we're on gnome 7. Yeah, I've knit every single one of the mystery gnomes. So I thought I would share them with you. So here they all are. I believe, I can't remember the names for all of them, but I believe this one here was number 1. This was the first gnome I ever knit. I think the yarn I used for the hat and the body was some mini skeins I had from Skein Queen that were singles, and then the yarn I used for the beard and the plaits was yarn that I snow dyed with Arthur, actually. So that was gnome number 1. Then the second one was this one here, and this one was super fun. I love the hat on this one. It's got like a little 3-pronged jester hat. Don't know if you can see, there we go, with little tassels on the top, and she doesn't have a beard, but she does have pockets and a scarf. And again, the yarn, I used my yarn for the body. I think that's my hopscotch colourway. I used some scraps of my yarn for the scarf, and then the hat I think was just another one of those same little mini skeins from Skein Queen that I had in the single ply. Then the third gnome, I think, was the colourwork gnome. I used just some random minis of my own for this one. I'll admit this was my least favourite gnome to knit, but only because colourwork does not come naturally to me. So that colourwork hat, which is very, very effective, was, yeah, a labour of love, definitely. But I do love his little twiddly beard. Then the third one, I think, was this one. This one was super fun because you held yarn double, which is why he's a little bit bulkier than the others. But I really love this. I used some, I think they were Nora George yarns, mini skeins. I think, I can't quite remember whether
I think they were part of the Lay Family and Yarn mini skein club that was around a couple of years ago. But I think these were Nora George minis. But yeah, I really like this one. And look, it's got a little kangaroo pocket, like it's wearing a hoodie. But yeah, that one's super cute. I like the curled hat as well. And then the next one was the Advent Gnome, the Christmas Gnome, which was this one here. And I used some of my yarn for this. So the minis, I think, they may not have been mine actually. They're certainly colours that I would dye, but I can't remember whether they were minis of mine or not. The body definitely is. The body's my plum chutney colourway. And I love this one's got legs. And look, this is the cutest little thing. Look at these little curl-toed boots. So, so cute. And then the bauble on top of the hat. I think she's doing another Advent Gnome this year, so I'm quite looking forward to that. And then the most recent gnome, which I will admit I did not finish during the actual kind of knit along because we were moving house at the time and things were chaotic, but I finished it recently, is this one here. Again, I can't remember the names, but I really enjoyed this one. I really enjoyed the cable, and I used minis from Craft House Magic from her Lockdown Minis set. I'm going to be talking about this a little bit later in the week because this was completely enabled by a lovely friend of mine during Perth weekend. I've yet to take it properly out of the box, but I'm hoping I will manage to find some time a little bit later in the week and then I can share it with you as well. I also wanted to show you some yarn for new cast-ons, of course, one of which is the gnome that I was just talking about. So these are the colours I have dug out for the gnome. These are all mini skeins. I just dug them from my little kind of stash of mini skeins, basically. I think this one's been in the shop for a while and it's my ice mini skein. I've got it on Stellina because I didn't have any of this on merino nylon, but I thought, why not? I'll have a sparkly gnome. And then these two I've also dug out. These are actually the minis that go with two of my sock sets. So this one goes with Coastline and this one goes with Heatwave. So nice and easily reproducible, because my plan is to have this gnome actually be all in my yarn because I'm dreadful at that and I never do things all in my yarn. But if it's all in my yarn and it's all yarn that can be easily available, then I can have it as a sample on my stall at shows and yeah, people can buy minis to make the gnomes. So that is my yarn for the gnome. Which I will cast on tonight because the first clue of the pattern is available. And then I also dyed up some yarn last week for a new garment, which I'm hoping to get finished for Glasgow. I'm vending at Glasgow School of Yarn on the 23rd and 24th of October. Which will be fun. It's a bit chaotic. It's a bit of a difficult one timing wise because my kids have got 2 weeks off school, with the kind of that weekend being the end of the that weekend being the end of the 2 weeks of school holidays. And for the first week of the school holidays, me and the boys, not Tom because he works at a university and his term dates never match up with the school kids' term dates, we are going to the Lake District with my parents. We've got a cottage booked and we're going to spend a week there, which will be very nice. I haven't been away since we did the same last year, actually. Anyway, tight, busy, chaotic Advents. Yeah, lots and lots of work going on. But I wanted to try and knit a new garment for Glasgow because if you've watched for a while, you'll know that I finished a love note recently and I wore that to Perth and I absolutely loved it. It was super comfortable. I wore it with some new dresses that I'd bought, which I was really, really comfortable in, and it worked really, really well. So I wanted to try and do something kind of similarly cropped, and I'm going to do short sleeves again so I don't get too hot because yarn shows can often be quite hot. So I was torn between a couple of patterns. So the first one was the Armour Sweater by Maddie Harvey. And the second one was, see now I'm going to get the name wrong. Right, I'm going to look it up because I do not want to get the name wrong. Okay, so the second one was the Nydia sweater by Vanessa Smith Designs. In fact, what I would do,
I will scoot over this way and I'll be super clever. And I will pop up a picture of the armour sweater now. So that one, as I said, is by Maddie Harvey Designs. And actually that's the one that I've decided to go with. Firstly, partly because Maddie will actually be vending at Glasgow School of Yarn, so I thought it might be quite nice to wear one of her patterns if she's actually going to be there and vending. And also she shared a picture on Instagram the other day of kind of a short-sleeved version, and it looked great, and I really liked it. Then the second pattern, as I said, is the Nydia pattern by Vanessa Smith Designs, and again I'll pop that one up now. And I absolutely love this. And the only reason really I've gone for the armour sweater over this one is just the fact that the Nydia sweater is kind of a textured lace, which gives you that kind of really lovely texture. But knowing that I've not got very long to knit it in, and that I'm probably going to be knitting quite a lot of it when I'm on holiday and in the evenings, I needed something that was going to be relatively simple. And actually the majority of the armour sweater, apart from kind of the beads of pearl section at the top, the majority of that is in stocking stitch, which will be really, really easy and mindless. Whereas the Nydia sweater will need a little bit more concentration. But I think I am going to cast on a Nydia sweater, Nydia, I'm not quite sure how to pronounce it, for a show next year. I don't think I can announce the fact that I'm vending at yet. Yeah, for a show next year. Anyway, so I dyed up some yarn. This is what I am going for. I'm not sure if the lighting is gonna. Oh, it's not too bad. So I've got a dark green. And then I've got a new kind of speckled green colourway. It's quite similar to my lime and coconut, but it's got a more green base and it doesn't have the brown speckles in it. So I need to come up with a name for both of these. But I absolutely love them. And I'm going to use this one, obviously, as the main colour in the sweater. And then this one will be for the contrast. So this will be the beads. Beads of pearl, whatever, I can't remember what she calls them. But yeah, that kind of beaded slip stitchy thing will be done in this colour as well as the contrasty bit. So yeah, I need to swatch. For that, I'm just looking at the gauge, but actually the swatch is just done on stocking stitch, so that's fine. So I will swatch and work out what needle size I need, but I'm hoping to get this cast on. And it should, hopefully, be relatively quick, being short-sleeved and cropped. Fingers crossed.
Clue 1 of the gnome, complete, apparently. I have 3 very random little tiny bits of I-cord. I have no idea what these are. They are called mystery bits. And I have another little mystery bit. I suspect that this might be a nose, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't even know when the next clue's out, actually. They're usually every few days. But there we go. First clue of the gnome completed, and the kids haven't even gone to bed yet.